Hey, you want to speak English with confidence, right? You're tired of feeling nervous and feeling frustrated when someone asks you a question and you can't answer with confidence. I totally understand. When I was learning Korean, I experienced the same thing. I had moments when I would walk up to someone and then suddenly forget everything that I wanted to say. And then I realized there were 6 reasons why I didn't feel confident. And I want to explain these reasons to you and give you the solutions. But before I do that, I need your help. You see, my goal is to help 1 billion students, a big number, around the world, just like you, learn how to speak English with confidence. But I need your help. I need you to do 3 things very quickly. I need you to like this video, I need you to share this video, and I need you to subscribe. One more time, like this video, share this video, and subscribe. Can you do that for me? I really appreciate it. Well, I'm Teacher Tiffany. Let's jump right in. All right, there are 6 reasons why you don't feel confident when you speak in English. Now, don't go anywhere because in the middle of this lesson, there's a special challenge that includes a reward. All right, so reason number 1. You keep focusing on other people's opinions. Basically, you don't feel confident because you are constantly thinking about what other people think about your English skills. This is something I struggled with as well when I was learning Korean. Why? Because every time I would get into a conversation and it would be my turn to say something, my first thought was, shoot, what do they think about me? Shoot, are they going to judge me when I speak Korean? Or shoot, man, I don't really know this person that well. And if I speak in a way that's not good, I think they're going to look at me in a bad way. I was focused on what other people would think of me. I was focused on other people's opinions, whether it have been my teacher or other students or people I came in contact with that didn't know me. I was focused on everybody else's opinions. And that's why I didn't feel as confident when I spoke in Korean. So again, this is one of the reasons why you don't feel as confident when you speak English. But there are some fixes. Fix number 1, figure out why you care so much. That's right. Figure out the root cause. Why do you care about other people's opinions? So for example, for me, I realized that I cared about other students who were doing better than me. I was comparing myself. In my class, I was the oldest in my class at that time. And it seemed like the other students were learning so much faster than I was. So whenever I would go to speak, in the back of my head, I would think, they're going to be like, okay, Tiffany's not as good as us. And I would focus on their opinions. But the root cause was because I was comparing my progress to theirs. I was looking at how far they had progressed and then looking at myself and saying, I'm not good enough. So that's why I was focused on their opinions. But if you figure out the reason why you're focused on other people's opinions, you can start to stop focusing. Because once I realized that, I stopped focusing as much on their opinions. Next, redirect your thoughts. You see, I had to learn, again, it was not their problem. They really weren't bad at all. They weren't thinking anything negatively. But I had to learn how to redirect my thoughts. So right before I would speak in Korean, when that thought entered my mind, like, ooh, Tiff, you know, Brandon's thinking, I would say, nope, I'm not going to think that thought. Let me switch my thoughts. You have to actually do the same thing. When you're about to speak, if you feel that coming on, that idea that, hey, people around me are going to kind of judge me, immediately redirect your thoughts. You can change your thoughts and it will help you feel more confident. The other fix is find out your opinion of yourself. Now, this is something very interesting. This is basically self-reflection. Many times as human beings, it doesn't matter what country you live in or where you're from, as human beings, we care about other people. But sometimes we care too much about other people's opinions and we forget to think about what we actually think about ourselves. Self-reflection. Stop and think, hey, what do I think about myself? Realize that you are learning a second language. Realize how much you have learned, and you need to develop your own opinion of yourself. This is going to help you feel more confident because your focus will stop being on other people's opinions and you'll start looking at yourself. For example, I know I'm an early bird. I know I'm very productive. I know I'm a very efficient person. So I focus on those aspects of who I am. So if someone else comes to me and says, Tiffany, you're not a hard worker, I'm not even affected. I don't even care what they think about me. Why? Because I know who I am. I know my opinion of myself when it comes to work. The same is true when you're thinking about your speaking ability. Figure out your opinion of yourself. You can heal yourself too. Have a good opinion of yourself. All right. So reason number 2, here we go. Reason number 2 is you set challenging English goals. Basically, you don't feel confident because you have set goals that don't match the amount of time you have to achieve them. Let me break this one down because I saw this issue with many of my students when I was in South Korea. You see, what happens is students, maybe just like you, set unachievable goals. Stay with me. A student would come to me and say, teacher, I said, hey, yeah, what's going on? How are you? Teacher, I need to pass this test. Maybe it was the IELTS exam or OPIC exam. I said, okay, tell me, when is the test? The student would say, teacher, the test is next month. I said, huh? So you're telling me you have 4 weeks? The student said, yep, I have 4 weeks and I want to get a perfect score. Now, again, I am a very encouraging teacher. I make it a point to help students like you achieve goals. But the student would come to me telling me that she only had 4 weeks to prepare for a major exam and she wanted to ace the exam. That's an unrealistic goal, an unachievable goal. Again, I knew her level. So what happens sometimes you set goals. It's very important to set goals, but sometimes you set goals that are not realistic. For example, you may say, I want to learn 1,000 English vocabulary words in 2 weeks. Come on now. Come on now. Now, I think you are very intelligent, but in 2 weeks, that's really not realistic. So instead, now, when you do that, you start to feel less confident because you have this goal and you're like, shoot, I didn't reach my goal. So when you go to speak, you're like, psh, I didn't reach that goal. I know I can't speak. This is what you need to do. There are 3 fixes for this. Set and achieve small goals on a regular basis. Confidence is built on accomplishment. Remember, a few weeks back, I taught you all how to learn 3,000 vocabulary words in a year. Now, 3,000 is a big number, right? But notice I said in a year. And then during the class, I broke down how you can actually learn that many words in a year. We divided it by 52 weeks. Then we divided the week. So in essence, every single day you need to learn between 6 to 7 English vocabulary words. You can do that, right? Because we broke down that larger goal into smaller goals. So now there's no sense of urgency or anticipation or frustration. Why? Because you have a small goal that is achievable, that you can do. And you feel more confident in your abilities because you start to focus on that smaller goal. So again, students that join the Weekly English Words membership, if you want to join, it's weeklyenglishwords.com. Students who join that membership, now they're seeing, oh, all I have to do is learn a certain number of words every day and I'm okay. And that's one way of actually feeling more confident. Now, another fix is right here. Focus on what you can change. There are going to be many things that you experience as you learn English. You're going to have many things that may seem difficult or challenging, but you'll also have things that you can change. I had a student ask me about pronunciation the other evening. She and I had a great conversation and she was like, Tiff, how can I improve my pronunciation? And I gave her a method. I said, hey, when I was learning Korean, I would watch Korean dramas and I wouldn't have a notebook. As I was watching the dramas, I would just sit there and repeat what they said to myself, but I was still enjoying the program. I recognized that what I could do was repeat or shadow the individuals that I was watching in the Korean drama, right? So figure out what you can change and don't focus on the things that you can't at the moment. The other fix is right here. Visualize success. This is something that I love doing as well. The reason why you don't feel as confident is because you feel like you can't attain certain goals. But if you visualize success, again, on my wall behind me, I have all of my goals for the year. Why do I do that? Because there are points and moments in time where I feel like, whew, I want to help 1 billion students speak English with confidence, but man, that's a large goal. So I've broken down that goal into smaller parts and smaller chunks. So periodically, I'll look at my wall and I'll see, okay, Tiff, your goal is 1 billion students, but for this year, this is all you need to do. And that makes me feel more confident in my ability to achieve that goal. The same thing goes for you as you are trying to build confidence in your speaking ability. Instead of setting unachievable goals or really challenging goals, pick a goal. It can be a big goal, but break it down into smaller chunks, and you will recognize yourself suddenly feeling more confident. Now, the third reason is right here. You don't feel prepared when you speak. Basically, you don't feel confident because your mind goes blank during conversations and you don't know what to say. I experienced this so many times when I was studying Korean. I felt like I couldn't give a very logical answer when certain topics came up. I would kind of go to the back or lean back a little bit so that no one would call on me because I didn't know what to say. So I felt less confident. Now, if they asked me to give my introduction or talk about my experiences in America, I could easily express those things in Korean because I knew the topics. But whenever something came up that I didn't know about, I really felt less confident. So I didn't feel prepared. Now, what are the fixes for this one? Here we go. Prepare and practice. Now, here's where the challenge comes in. Okay, you see, because what you have to do is prepare ahead of time. There are many different videos on YouTube. Again, amazing English teachers. I'm not the only English teacher. There are other awesome English teachers on YouTube, and they talk about different topics. So you can prepare before you speak English by watching some videos, by listening to some podcasts, and getting the information you need. Now, here's the challenge. You see, today's video is being brought to you by Cambly. Now, Cambly and I have been working together for a long time. I almost said a different word. Now, Cambly and I, we work together, and I love working with them because they care about you all. So here's the challenge. What you need to do is in the comment section, tell us your favorite method for practicing what you learn. That's right. We all have different ways of studying. When I was studying Korean, I had a different method than other students. Maybe you have a unique method. Maybe you get up in the morning and you listen to a radio show. Maybe you get up in the morning and you watch something on your phone from TikTok or from another social media platform. Whatever your specific method is for studying, I want you to tell us about it in the comment section. Here's where the challenge comes. Once you put it in the comment section, I will select one individual. That's right. One individual who has written down and explained his or her favorite way for practicing English. And that student is going to win 60 minutes of practice time with a Cambly tutor. I told you it was a great one. I told you it was a good one. That's right. One student is going to get the opportunity to practice with a native English speaker for 60 minutes. That's right. Again, we're talking about feeling more confident, and part of feeling more confident is being prepared, is practicing. So I want you to practice with a native English teacher. So all you have to do, once again, is in the comment section, tell us your favorite method for practicing what you learn. Maybe you watch movies. Maybe you write something in your notebook. Whatever it is, share it in the comment section. And this is why I like this challenge. Again, gives you an opportunity to practice speaking in English by typing. And it also helps you help each other because you may have a method that another student can see and say, ooh, I really like the way he or she studies. I'm going to do the same thing. So you can help each other. You got it? All right, good. Cambly, thank you so much for sponsoring this video and for being willing to help the students improve their English. All right. So what's the other fix? Again, we talked about not being prepared or not feeling prepared, and that affects your confidence. Here's the other thing you can do. Take a deep breath. I noticed when I was studying Korean that whenever I felt nervous or less confident, I would start speaking fast. Not good, but just fast. And I would start fumbling over my words and things would come out very jumbled. The grammar was really bad and I just didn't speak well. If I had known this right here, simply take a deep breath. And we talked about it in a previous video. I told you all that it's okay to say, let me think about that for a second. You see how I paused for that long period of time? You can do the same thing if you need to gather your thoughts. And if you want to speak with confidence, it's okay to pause, but do a proper pause like that. All right. So take a deep breath. The other fix is be fearless. Mind over matter. Push through your nervousness. Again, I get it. I totally understand. When you don't feel prepared, you start getting nervous. You really don't want to speak because you don't think you have the words to say. But be fearless. It's okay. Take a deep breath. Remind yourself, I am learning another language. I do know enough. I can give my opinion. And start speaking. Mind over matter. Don't allow yourself to be tricked to think that you're not able to speak English with confidence. You can do it. You have to be fearless. All right. Now, reason number 4. Here we go. This is because you focus on your mistakes and think you can't. Basically, you don't feel confident because you are constantly thinking about the mistakes you made in the past. Man, oh man, when I say I did this all the time, I would focus on the things that I got wrong. When I'd have a conversation with my professor or with a classmate or with one of my Korean friends, if I made a mistake, I would think about that mistake for the rest of the day. And sometimes even throughout the night, I would have a bad dream. Why? Because I felt like I had been studying for so long. Why was I making the same mistakes? Maybe they're thinking I'm really not a good speaker. You see what happened, right? I would go to start thinking about their opinions of me. So many things would run through my head. And again, you probably experienced the same thing. But this is what is causing you to feel less confident. You need to stop focusing on your mistakes. So here's what we have to do. Fix number 1. Be nice to yourself. This is something that I think as human beings, we forget sometimes. We have to be nice to ourselves, right? You can beat yourself up sometimes. No one can see what's going on, but in your head, you may say to yourself, oof, you've been studying English for 5 years. You still don't know that word? Or oof, you've been studying English for 10 years and you still can't express yourself? Sometimes these thoughts run through your head, and I want to encourage you to stop doing that. Be nice to yourself. Again, remember in the previous example, we talked about encouraging yourself by developing an opinion of yourself. Remember, you are amazing. You're learning another language. For some of you, your 3rd, 4th, or even 5th language. Be nice to yourself. The next fix is right here. Remember that everyone makes mistakes when speaking English. It's true. Even Americans, even people from England, like we all make mistakes, just like you make mistakes in your own mother tongue. It's okay to make a mistake. No one is asking you to be perfect. It's all right. Just express yourself. And I want you to remember that. The next fix is right here. List your past successes. This is something that's going to help a lot. You know, right now, you may be feeling like, there's so many other things I want to do, so many more words I want to learn, but I don't want you to forget what you've already done. Because when you think about your past successes instead of your mistakes, you get a boost of energy to keep going forward, learning more. But when you only focus on your mistakes, suddenly you start to feel bad and less confident. But if you remember, wait a minute, last year I was a beginner. Now I'm able to understand everything Teacher Tiffani says. I'm able to express myself and apply the methods she taught me. Wow, I am amazing. And I want you guys to realize how amazing you are. So again, list your past successes. Now, reason number 5, why you feel less confident. You don't feel like you are learning fast enough. Basically, you don't feel confident because you think you are learning English at a slow pace and that you don't know enough to express yourself. Again, this is something that I've heard from so many students, and some of my students in the past few months have told me this. Like, teacher, I don't feel like I'm learning enough. I need to learn more vocabulary. What can I do? I need to learn more. And I agree. It's important to continue learning, which is why you're watching this video and which is why I'm making the video for you. But the truth is, you need to understand that going fast is not always the answer. It's not about how fast you learn. It's about how fast you are able to put into use or put into practice what you actually learn. So what's the fix? Again, right here. Monitor your progress. This is something that will help you a lot. So if you have a notebook, write down. When you learn a new word, write it down. When you learn a new concept, write it down. You can record yourself. I encourage students that are in my academy so much. Record a video clip. Talk about what you learned today. Talk about what word you like. It's important to record yourself on a video clip or write something down because then you have a way to go back and see your progress. And this actually results in you feeling more confident. It's amazing how the brain works. It's like a psychology, like the interesting psychology behind this. It's not just about, oh, I don't feel confident. I need to speak more. There's a lot more to it. Part of it is you need to monitor your progress. Now, the other fix is right here. Practice regularly based on a set schedule. This is also important. Set a schedule for yourself. So, for example, when I used to exercise before the pandemic at the gym, I would go at the same time every morning. I would go at 5 a.m. and I'd see the same people every morning. I'd get on the same machine and I'd run, and then I'd go play basketball with one of the guys that was there. But I had a routine, and this routine was actually very helpful. You need the same thing when you are studying English and trying to improve your ability to speak English with confidence. This routine actually creates confidence because the more I exercised, the more I got up in the morning and followed the routine, the better I felt about myself. Like, Tiff, yesterday you exercised at 5 a.m. and then 2 days ago you exercised at 5 a.m. You know you can do it today. And it was like I was encouraging myself. And the same will happen for you. If you pick to learn 3 words today, learn 3 words every day, you can say, hey, yesterday I learned 3 words. So today I'm going to learn 3 words. And tomorrow I'm going to learn 3 words. Practice regularly, and it will make you feel more confident. And that will affect your ability to speak English. Here's the other fix. Follow through. Do what you say, and you will respect yourself more too. This actually happened this morning. Right before this video, because of the pandemic, I hadn't been exercising a lot because I couldn't go to the gym, and I still can't go to the gym. So I bought a jump rope, but I hadn't been using the jump rope because I was busy. And I finally said, you know what? Let me do this before I start working. So I was jumping rope and I had a goal, and I got halfway to the goal and I got tired, and I said, I really want to stop here. And no one's telling me I have to do it. I can stop. But then I heard a little voice in my head that said, Tiff, if you reach your goal and you accomplish it, you achieve it, you're going to feel so much better about yourself. And I pushed through. I followed through, and I did what I had achieved, that I wanted to achieve. You see, even right there, even Americans make mistakes. It's okay, guys. But no, I did what I wanted to do, and I felt so much better after. So the same is true for you. You want to learn fast, but instead of trying to learn so fast, simply follow through with what your goal is. Remember, small, achievable goals. This will help you feel more confident when you speak English. And now the 6th reason. You don't enjoy learning English. Now, I know this comes as a shock to some, but a lot of times you don't really enjoy studying English. I think you enjoy these videos. Hopefully, I enjoy talking to you. But basically, you don't feel confident because you don't enjoy what you are learning in English. In other words, you feel stressed whenever you study. It makes a difference. When you don't enjoy something, the information you're studying has a harder time going in. So you feel less confident because it's not really solidified in your mind. So when you go to access it, it's harder. Here are the fixes for this one. Celebrate the small stuff. When you learn something, woo, hey, you better be happy about it, right? Celebrate the small stuff. If you meet an American, if you actually have a conversation with someone in English, celebrate the small stuff. If you write a comment in the comment section, when you participate in the challenge and tell us your favorite way of studying, celebrate that. You wrote a comment in English, which is not your first language. It's okay to be happy about that. It's okay to share that with somebody like, hey, I wrote a comment in English under a video and English is not my first language. It's okay. This is something that will help you enjoy English more. Then do more of what makes you happy. I tell you all the time, I love sports. I love exercising. I love cooking. I love eating. I love these things and I love art. So when I studied Korean, I made sure what I was learning was involved or connected to these things. You need to do the same thing. Do more of what makes you happy. Find your interests and connect them to what? English. Then, if you realize that you enjoy watching TV dramas in English, watch more of them. If you realize you enjoy English podcasts, listen to more of them. I have some students that enjoy reading books like novels. Read more. Again, find what makes you happy. And it will result in more confidence because you will learn and be relaxed and calm. So later on, when you go to speak English, it will come out a lot faster and easier. And finally, watch an English program for fun. That's right. Take time to just relax and enjoy yourself. Find an English program. Currently, I'm watching This Is Us. Now, if you're watching this video and it's later on, I'm sure you can go online and find it. But for those who are watching it in real time, find This Is Us. This American drama, woo! It's good, y'all. It's really good. It comes on Tuesday evenings and I'm watching it, but I enjoy it. But again, it's in English, but you may also enjoy it. Watch it for fun and you'll start taking in information that will help you speak English with more confidence later because the information went in and it was very easy to retain the information. Now, here's the deal. I do understand. Speaking with confidence is not easy. Speaking in English is not easy. But I hope these tips help you to have more confidence and to be more comfortable when you speak in English. Now, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember to speak English, but also remember to put a comment in the comment section so that you can be a part of the challenge. Let us know what your favorite method of studying English is, and I will choose one winner, and that individual will get a 60-minute tutorial session with a Cambly tutor. All right? Okay, guys, I'll see you next week. Have an awesome day, and as always, remember to speak English. You still there? You know what time it is. It's story time. Hey, I said it's story time. All right, so today's story is about a time when I did not feel confident about my Korean speaking ability. So when I was in Korea, I lived there for almost 10 years and I got to the point where I was an advanced Korean speaker. But at my church, I went to a multicultural church. So there were Koreans there and there were foreigners, as in like Americans, people from Africa, people from Europe. We all worshiped together. And because that was the case, there were times when they needed translators. Now, I never offered to be a translator, even though I could speak Korean. Remember, I told you I didn't feel confident at times, even though I could speak. So I understand what you're feeling. So one Sabbath, again, I'm a Seventh-day Adventist, so I go to church on Saturday and we call it Sabbath. So one Sabbath, one of my friends walked up to me because our pastor was Korean. He spoke English and Korean, but his sermons were normally in Korean. So one of my friends walked up to me and said, "Hey, Tiff." And I said, "Hey, yeah." She said, "So we need an extra translator." Immediately, my heart started pumping. My heart started racing and I started getting nervous. Now, I told you I was already fluent in Korean, but for some reason, I started to feel nervous and I wasn't confident. She said, "So, Tiff, would you mind helping us out?" I said, give me a few days to think about it and I'll get back to you." She said, "Okay, but we really need your help, Tiff, and your Korean is good. You can do it." She believed in me. Remember I said earlier, sometimes other people's opinion of you is not really what you think. My friend was like, "Tiff, you speak Korean really well. We know that you'll do great." I was the one that didn't feel confident. So I went home to my apartment and I prayed about it and I still didn't feel confident, but I knew that our church needed more translators. So I said, "Okay, I'll do it. But I need like 2 or 3 weeks in advance. Like I needed to have the script or the sermon in advance so that I could study it and make sure I understood everything because I was going to translate into English. He would speak in Korean and then I'd translate into English." So she was so excited. She was like, "Okay, Tiff, cool." So she put me on the schedule and the time came for me to be the translator. So she sent me the script. Well, the pastor sent me the script and I think it may have been like 7 or 8 pages. I spent maybe about 6 hours going over the sermon, looking up the words, making sure I knew everything so that I could be prepared. Remember I said part of feeling confident is when you feel prepared. So I made sure that I went over the entire script and knew the sermon. I still didn't feel confident though. I was still nervous. So Saturday morning came, saw the pastor. Great guy. So he said, "Hey, Tiff," again, all of this is happening in Korean. He's like, "Hey, Tiff, are you ready?" I said, "Yeah, just praying. God will be good. God will help." So we get on the pulpit or on the stage in front and he starts with saying the prayer. And again, my heart is racing the entire time. Again, on the outside, everyone sees smiling, confidence. I said, "Good morning and happy Sabbath, everyone." I'm just translating in real time, right? Inside, I'm so nervous. So then he continues and he starts to give his sermon. And again, I'm still nervous, but all of a sudden I start to feel a little bit more at ease. In the very beginning, I was thinking about, oh man, because I'm looking at the congregation, people that are in the audience, and I'm like, oh my goodness, they're probably like, "Tiff, do you know what you're talking about? Or are you sure?" Like all of these thoughts were running through my head. But there came a point when I started realizing that people were smiling at me. I was like, wait a minute, they're smiling. So they must be understanding what I'm saying. I was speaking in Korean, but it was kind of like they were rooting me on. And their thoughts about me were good and not bad. So I started to feel my heart kind of go a little calmer. And I started to feel more confident because I realized, wait a minute, they don't think anything negative about me. "Tiff, you can do it." I started to encourage myself like, "Tiff, you can do it." The pastor and I started to have a good time. He even went off script. It means he said whatever he wanted to say off the cuff. Look that one up, guys. And I was able to translate in real time. So we got through the sermon. It was a blessing. I was blessed. The audience, the congregation was blessed. And at the end, we walked off. He prayed and we walked off. And he said, "Tiff, I really want to thank you so much for being my translator today." I said, "Oh, my pleasure, Pastor. No worries." Again, he didn't know that I was super nervous inside. After that, I walked out to where we have to kind of shake everyone's hands. And my friends were telling me, "Tiff, that was one of the best sermons I've heard in a long time. Your translation was amazing." Now, again, they don't speak Korean, but they were letting me know like, "Tiff, we were blessed. You did a great job." And then my friends who did speak Korean and English walked up to me and said, "Tiff, that was amazing. You did a great job. Keep going." And I felt so much better. So one thing I realized was I didn't want to do it at first because I didn't feel confident, but I pushed through the nervousness and I continued and I prepared and I worked hard. And when I got up front, even though I felt nervous in the beginning, by the end, I felt very confident. So much so that I became a member of the translation team. So I was a regular translator for our church. And that never would have happened if I allowed my nervousness or my fear to hinder me from going up front. the same is true for you. You may not feel confident at times when you're speaking English. You may feel like when you try to speak in English that other people are looking at you, other people are judging you. Don't think that. Instead, push forward, push through. Don't let your fear and nervousness hinder you from speaking English. You can do it. Just like I was able to translate from Korean to English, you'll be able to speak English with confidence if you simply push through and set achievable goals. You can do it, and I believe in you. Hope you enjoyed this story. Yes, I translated a lot when I was in Korea, and I had many wonderful experiences and many wonderful people around me. Thanks so much, guys. I will see you next week. Remember to speak English, and I'll talk to you next time.